What's up, everybody? It's your favorite, what do you want on your tombstone, pepperoni and sausage favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Homecoming wave, the only 3 from this wave that I'll be looking at. Like I told you guys, like my Marvel Legends collection is really filling out. There's only a few pieces here and there that I'll be cherry picking from here on out, so the reviews will slow down in terms of the Marvel Legends. But I will be picking up probably most of the X-Men stuff they put out, and there's still a fair amount of Spider-Man villains that I'm looking for, and everything else is kind of like meh. Like I'll take it if maybe if I'm interested, and maybe I won't be interested. Maybe I don't know who the character is, and I'll give it a whirl or something like that. But outside of that, they are going to slow down. It's going to be very rare that I'll be doing full waves anymore, which is nice for my pockets. And these videos don't do well anyway, so it should be nice for everybody. But I enjoy doing them, and I'm the boss here. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and pick up these figures you just accidentally knocked over, and then take the Spider-Man footage and edit it and put it together and place it on YouTube and put the pictures in the right place. And this probably is much more efficient when you have people working for you, I guess. I call the shots! So anyway, we're looking at Cosmic Spider-Man, Moon Knight, and Tombstone, and with that being said, let's just get going. And Cosmic Spider-Man actually comes with 2 head accessories, which I think is extremely thoughtful. I don't feel like this should be expected from them. I feel like maybe we would have got this one, like I kind of would have expected this one, but not necessarily this one. And I think they did a good job. Let's talk about them real briefly. The beard is sculpted and painted, and it looks good enough. The face is sculpted well enough, I think. The eyebrows are done. Eyes, there's like an eyeliner to define the eyes and stuff. It's not like proper eyeliner, you know what I mean? Got a little bit of brown on the forehead there. Individual results will vary, I'm sure. But outside of that, I think it looks pretty good. This one, kind of the same deal. The white is painted well. We got the blue metallic paint, which looks good on this as well as the figure. And then we have like the white speckle stuff, which I'm sure is probably just a flick effect. But it looks good and it looks the part. Let's talk about the figure. Now, I think that this is I don't know. You know I'm terrible at this, but this, I know I've seen this before. This Blizzard, who knows? But the head on this one, I feel like, is not right. Like, I don't feel like it looks like a human face underneath. Like, it looks like where the mask is more indicative of the character. Like you could make that argument for a few characters, right? Like, you could even make that argument for Spider-Man. You could make that argument for Deadpool, where, like, it's really the facial design of the mask that defines who the character is, but I feel like with this one we needed a little bit of face underneath, and I'm not sure why. But it looks like the nose end's a little too short, and there's like too much space down here. But I mean, it's just, that's being nitpicky, and I get that. The rest of it's pretty well done. The paint is well done. We got the blue metallic paint, the white eyes are painted, the speckle effect of the white on the metallic blue. All that looks good. I don't have much complaints. I don't think you'll notice the sculpting issue I have with it. It just doesn't look like it's a human face underneath. I don't know how else to describe it. But the head is on a ball hinge, so you get the head back to there, down to there. Destroys the sculpt a little bit, but if you don't want to, you can get it to there. Swivel, a little bit of back and forth, ever so slightly. It works. For the chest, we had the metallic blue painted on the white, which is definitely the way to go about it. There is some weird stuff going on here with these shoulders, which we're going to get to in a minute. But the metallic blues match fairly well. I don't even know if you can notice a difference on screen. And when I'm looking at it in person under these harsh lights, I can barely notice. I don't think I would notice if I was a normie, let's say. But I think it works fairly well, and the lines are fairly clean. Little fuzzy in certain places, but for the most part, it's fairly clean. You do get the waist swivel, of course, and then you get an ab crunch down to there, so significant, and back to there, which is kind of good enough. And the sculpting continues throughout. A little bit of scuff marks on the white, but not the biggest deal in the world. Now, the shoulder joints, okay, so Marvel Legends have been having some issues recently, I feel like, where the sculpts and stuff, and you could say even the paint, have gotten better, but some of the materials have gotten weaker. Where these shoulders plug in, it's putting, like, can you see that as I'm trying to manipulate the shoulder down? Like, it's putting stress on the actual connection. It just shouldn't be that way. We do have blue hinges for the hardware. Like, that's blue plastic. So that's really nice. That's thoughtful.
And then we have the arms that are blue and then the white bits painted on both the speckle effect and then like the little cosmic effect. And it looks really good. So aside from that, it's fine. It's just that joint there is a little weird. You know, recently, I forget what review it was. Maybe you guys remember I had a foot break on a figure. I reviewed it anyway. I had to get a replacement part or a replacement figure. It's just been a lot of that recently. I had it with Spider Girl, one of the Spider Girls as well. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, that works fine. Wrist swivel and hinge in, out, same for the other side. And I like that they gave you 2 fist hands, and since they didn't give you any kind of weapons or anything, like he doesn't have trigger finger hands for no reason, which I feel like they do sometimes. T-jointed ball joints for hips get you out to there, forward to there, and back to there, so that's fine. Thigh swivel, once again, that one was just stuck, so that one's stuck as well. Double jointed knee, calf swivel, ankle tilt, up, down, and a rocker. So a pretty well done figure. They did go with, and like I said, I don't know exactly. I'm not good at remembering what buck is what and et cetera, but they did go with this one that kind of has the suit lines kind of sculpted on it, where like the material is stretching across, and I'm not sure if that was the most accurate choice either for a Cosmic Spider-Man. I kind of feel like it's, you know, it's almost like the suit has a life of its own, and it would just be form-fitting. You wouldn't see the stretches and spandex and stuff, but, you know, I guess that's subjective. But yeah, overall, not bad. Pretty well done. And next is Tombstone. This is one of those Spider-Man villains I've been looking forward to getting a hold of. Like, that's a collection that has a lot of gaps for me. Like, I'd love an updated Doc Ock. I would love a Prowler, a Mysterio, which I hear is coming, et cetera, et cetera. So this is one that I've wanted, and I'm happy to see that he got made. And he's a pretty decent, not a whole lot of bells and whistles, but a decent figure nonetheless. So the head sculpt, I think, is great. You know, a lot of character in that. The face has been dry brushed with a white on top of that blue, or a grayish white on top of that blue, and then the hair is painted. The eyes are painted. The teeth and gums are painted. So pretty well done. Head is on a ball hinge, so down a little bit, up to there, and then the swivel. The collar is a separate piece that's glued on. The suit itself is actually sculpted, so it's not just paint lines down the center of the figure. That's a nice touch and not necessarily expected. And the flesh tone has continued to be dry brushed both on the neck and the chest and the abdomen, so that's a nice choice. It's not as well done as the face is, but I think it's good enough. Let's see. We have ab crunch down to there, back to there. Waist swivel. The belt is sculpted and painted with all the buckles and stuff, and then the belt itself. The shoulders, disc hinge, get you out to there and around. Same goes for Cosmic Spider-Man. I'm not sure if I talked about that, but the articulation works the same. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, wrist swivel and hinge, and we have 2 fists because we don't have any accessories to hold, so that's fine. We do have floating pieces for the wrist gauntlets, like the Jim Lee Cyclops, but it works good enough. And then the buckles are painted. It's not like the Cyclops where it's like floating all over the place. And the same thing goes for these pieces here on the ankle. It's kind of fine because it's kind of locked in this location, so it's not going to be a big pain. T-jointed ball joints for hips get you out to there, forward to there, back to there, no issues. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, calf swivel, ankle tilt up, down, and rocker. Now, this is just black plastic all down here, but, you know, they sculpted the belt, they sculpted the suit onto the chest, they dry brushed the face and the chest. Like, I feel like there's enough, the stuff that they did take care with, there's enough care done there where I feel like the rest of it, which is just kind of, you know, assembled and put in the plastic clamshell, it kind of gets a pass from me. And of course, Moon Knight, which I think is the most kind of sought-after figure from this wave. And he does come with a number of accessories. He comes with the same baton that we saw used with Daredevil. Just 2 white pieces of plastic. They're softer plastic, and then you can clip them together here. And then he has, you know, the big Moon Knighterang, for lack of a better term. It's definitely a softer plastic as well. But as you can see, he holds both just fine. And then he comes with 2 fist hands as opposed to the 2 holding hands. And the fist hands actually have little ports in the fist There's 3 of them there, and there's 3 of them on this side, and then you get 3 little Moon Knight Orangs to plug in there, so it looks like he's holding them. Super smart idea. I'm surprised they got away with it under the, you know, the protect the kids from choking stuff, but really, really a cool feature. A little bit of a pain to get them in, and they're definitely still made of that softer plastic, but a very cool feature and looks very cool. And we'll talk about the figure. I'm not crazy about the cape. It does plug into the back to try to stabilize it a bit. It's a soft plastic cape, and it's just, you know, it just hangs there. It's fine, I guess. The head is on a ball hinge per usual. You can't really get much because of the hood. There's up, there's down, you get a fair bit. And then the swivel. The eyes do have some nice paint on them. There's like a light blue ring around the eye. I hope you can see that. That looks really cool, and the sculpt is really cool, so all that works, including the hood sculpt. The Buck has these extra pieces glued on, these shoulder pads, and then this chest piece here, the back armor piece, the hip pieces, and it really does accentuate the character, and that might be a smart way to get around using the same Buck. If you can have these pieces that can plug in to add little details, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing them use that more in the future. And then the Black Moon symbol is definitely sharp as a tack. The waist swivel still works, even around the extra bits. You have an ab crunch that works like a champ, down to there, back to there. Shoulders still disc hinged. The softer plastic does go underneath the chest, but you got to make sure that it goes. You just have to work it in there, and you can get the full range, so to speak. Bicep swivel, the shoulder does move around. Double jointed elbow, mine's a little stiff, but it works. This one has a hinge up and down. We rarely see that, but it makes sense for the weapons that he has, so I applaud them for that as well. Usually they just say you get the in out, and that's the end of it. You know my thoughts. Usually I prefer one in out, one up down, just for the versatility of the figure. We have these extra pieces. They're all glued in as well. Looks good. T-jointed ball joints for hips, get you out to there. Thigh swivel. Foot legs go up to there and back to there. Double jointed knee. Ankles, the ankles are a separate piece, which I haven't seen them do before. But usually the ankle is just part of this lower piece. This is a separate piece that plugs in, so you get an ankle swivel, which is nice. And then a tilt up. The softer plastics move out of the way to get you one click up. And then a tilt all the way back. And the rocker. So really cool, something different, something new, a little bit of excitement in a line that kind of, you know, just regurgitates the same sort of thing over and over and over again. It's a little something new, and I think it works really well. I'm excited to see what they can do with this sort of approach in the future. Just a quick comparison, here's the Toy Biz one. The Toy Biz one's still one of the better ones, I feel like, in a lot of ways. Like I know people love the Toy Biz figures, but I just feel like a lot of them are real junk. And it's not that they were junk. It's like the engineering, like the joints and stuff were like weird choices, like especially in the hips. They were like these universal type joints, and they were just strange. You had to kind of manipulate them to get the pose that you wanted. You had to, like, I don't know. I don't like them. In short, they were painted to the nines. And they have a little bit more love in them than the Marvel Legends. Like, you see the string in here and stuff like that. Like, you don't get stuff like that with these guys. I do like the material of this cape better. But overall, I think that this current Moon Knight is a significant upgrade from the Toy Biz one. However, when I see him standing there, though, it doesn't necessarily seem as, but having them both in hand, I definitely recommend this one over this one. But if you like the old school, like the white look of Moon Knight, which I am partial to myself, there's no harm in keeping the Toy Biz one. Not at all. Final thoughts wise, I think they're all decent enough figures to pick up. I think they're all kind of worth their money. It's interesting, and I do want to point out this Moon Knight does have a wrist in out and one up down. I don't know how I got that confused, but you know, I confuse myself all the time. But yeah, I think they're all worth 20 bucks. You know, this one is kind of the least impressive, which is a shame because I've always liked Cosmic Spider-Man. But I think the other two, I think they work nicely. The shortcomings are there's some weird stuff going on with these shoulder joints in this guy, and I feel like the face sculpt is a little strange. There's not a lot of bells and whistles to Tombstone, but he's sort of a straightforward, well done and well approached figure. And then the Moon Knight, I'm not crazy about the cape, but the rest of it kind of works. So yeah, definitely pick up the Moon Knight if you can find one, and you know, I think the Tombstone is worth picking up as well if you're trying to really, you know, I don't know, set up that 80s, 90s Spider-Man villain shelf like I am. Yeah, all solid choices. Before I get out of here, I want to say that this was found for me by my good friend Dust Mites in the Golden State of New Jersey, and he found them, and I asked him if he could just, you know, pick them up and take them out of the box and ship them to me, and he did, and that was very kind of him. He did send like 100 Realm of Collectors business cards. The last time he was here at Skullfest, he left business cards like all over my house. I think I've still found one. I just found one, I think, like 2 weeks ago. Joe was here. So like he sent me another 100, but these I can easily keep track of and place somewhere safe, let's say. But thank you, Dust. I appreciate it. Check out his show, Realm of Collectors, on the YouTubes and on the iTunes once Ace gets that modem or server or whatever it is, technological talk working again. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.